Welcome back to a News You Can Use podcast powered by BNS LLC, sponsored by Reach, rendering encouragement and capturing hearts. Kim Mosby Summers and Frenchie's Wonders Healthy Place Botanicals. Govern yourselves accordingly to these announcements. Your host, Frenchier, will be presenting at the Financial Education Fair April 3rd from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at City Hall, Rotunda, 1200 Market Street, St. Louis, Missouri. The Financial Education Fair taking place April 17th, 2019 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Slate, 1520 Market Street. The Financial Education Fair taking place at April 26th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Better Family Life, 5415 Page. Do find all Money Smart Month events on the Money Smart Month website for St. Louis or whatever your state is. Just go Google Money Smart Month. That takes place in April. Kylar.io. That's spelled KYLAR.io. That's actually the website. Introducing Blockchain for Teens free workshop taking place April 13th, 2019 at Flow Valley for ages 13 through 18 years old. Register today because it is first come, first serve. You snooze, you lose on eventbrite.com. What students will learn: intro to blockchain, intro to cryptocurrency, initial coin offerings, cash, credit versus crypto, government regulations, legal form, life insurance and beneficiaries, taxes, wallets, centralization versus decentralization. Kylar.io Blockchain Conference 2019 takes place in July. Go ahead and register for that as well. That's the Youth Entrepreneur Blockchain Conference taking place in July 2019. That's also on Eventbrite, or go to the website kylar.io. KYLAR.io. Thank you. And see you at the subsequent unveiling of the Marvin Gaye Forever stamp in Grandel Square, April 3rd. Stay tuned for more pop up shops where you can actually purchase Black books and cultural books and financial books, children's books, all kinds of books, shea butter, art, clothing, Canaris, with Amber Bookstore LLC. Go to www.amberbookstores.com. You can also shop your books there as well. Thank you so much. Also, go to beandussllc.com. That's B as in beautiful, E as in everything, A as in apple, N as in nice. D as in deliver. U as in universal. S as in superstar. L as in light. L as in love. C as in Charlie.com. That's B and us LLC.com. Thank you. Throw It Up by Lil Jon featuring Pastor Troy.
Let's go! Let's go! Yeah! Good job, the motherfucking East Side Boys. Okay. Pastor Troy. Yeah. We represent for everybody. Everybody. All the real niggas in America. Where you at? Or where the fuck you from? We represent for y'all. We represent for GA, Naptown, Tennessee, St. Louis, St. Bill, Mississippi, Alabama, BDA, Detroit, DC, Dallas, Texas, the Carolinas, Houston niggas, Louisiana, Gay niggas, let's go. What you looking at now? What you looking at now? Not me. I'ma keep it to real. What you looking at now? What you looking at now? Not me. I'ma keep it to real. We too deep up in this jam. We too deep up in this jam. More bust than it is in the club. We too deep up in this jam. We too deep up in this jam. More bust than it is in the club. Y'all niggas over there. Y'all niggas ain't shit. Y'all hoes over there. Y'all hoes ain't shit. We run this. What? We run this. What? We run this. What? We run this. What? Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Throw it up. It was a throw it up. It was up. It was a throw it up. It was up. It was a throw it up. It was up. The last nigga, it's the pastor. Ready to blast ya. You know, I don't play no motherfucking game. PSGB, you know the name. Wood grain in the motherfucking dually truck. Got the black and red seats with the Georgia tuck. Then I got my helmet hanging out the window. Ready to bust the head of a fucking pretender. Nigga, as soon as I enter, you know I make a noise. Pass the truck and the east side door. AK's bustin', I ride the whole clip. I cut that hoe and let a motherfucking rip. Cause thank shit is what I live for. Fuck him, fuck her. I'm representing, put some more yak in my mug. So I can throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Fucking throw it up. Throw it up. Throw it up. It was a throw it up. It was up. It was a throw it up. It was up. It was a throw it up. It was up. It was a throw it up. Okay, hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. I'm looking around this bitch. I see a lot of niggas ain't throwing up shit. What? Y'all niggas must be scared to represent your shit. You're scared. You must be scared, nigga. Scared. Fuck that shit. Fuck all my real niggas. That's proud of they hood. Yeah. All of my real ladies. Yeah. Proud of they hood. Yeah. I've never been scared. Yeah. Say this shit. Yeah. Bitch, I ain't scared. Bitch, I switching up lanes, talking much shit, cause we deep in the game. Cocaine, all white, fucking S, fucking thick. Young ass niggas, I guess we filthy rich. My whole clique, ready to bust some head. I'ma throw it up, bitch, and I ain't scared. Pastor Troy, motherfucker, you know the routine. Represent for the home team. Throw it up, 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 throw it up.
Let's listen to John Lee Dumas with the Daily Refresh tell us why we take deep breaths for rejuvenation and renewal. This is March 20th, 2019 recording.
Hello, JLD here, and welcome to the Daily Refresh, where I'll share a quote to inspire the mind, gratitude to warm the soul, and guided breathing to energize the body. And remember, when you begin your day with a Daily Refresh, you're setting the stage for massive success. And today's quote is from Steve Jobs. Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. Are you being innovative? Are you creating? Are you innovating? Think about that and think about whether you want to be a leader or a follower, because if you want to be the prior, if you want to be a leader, you better be innovating. And something to be grateful for, let's think about chocolate for a second here. Let's think about really, really dark chocolate, like 80, 90%. Wow, let me tell you, I was pretty fired up when I heard that dark chocolate isn't horrible for you. I put these really dark cacao nubs in my smoothie every single day to add a little flavor to it. Simply love it. Now take a few seconds and think of something unique in your life that you're grateful for. It will warm your soul. And now it's time for guided breathing. We're going to follow the ancient practice of Samavriti, which means equal breathing. This will reduce stress, increase focus, elevate your mood, and energize your body. So grab a seat and remember all breathing is through the nose, and we'll be breathing in for a count of 4, out for a count of 4, a total of 5 times, which will fully circulate amazing oxygen into your body. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 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 2, 3, 4. Relax. All 5 cycles are now complete. Your body is now fully energized with the life-giving power of oxygen. And congratulations, you've completed the Daily Refresh. And if you're not already, subscribe to the Daily Refresh on your favorite podcast app, and a new episode will be delivered every day. And if you're not listening to the Daily Refresh on Alexa, you can visit thedailyrefresh.com and watch my guided tutorial to make the Daily Refresh your flash briefing. So with a simple voice command, you'll be on your way to daily vitality. Lastly, you can leave me a message at thedailyrefresh.com of what you are grateful for, and I might just feature it in an upcoming episode. Now go conquer your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Marvin Gaye would have been 80 years old. It's been 47 years since What's Going On, the album, which is sixth in the Rolling Stones top 500 and greatest albums of all time. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, that's wonderful. There was a ceremony in Hollywood for Marvin Gaye from the United States Postal Services. There is a unveiling of a Marvin Gaye commemorative forever stamp. Oh, wonderful. That's right. You're kidding. My thinking was that Marvin Gaye is universal. He belongs to all of us and not just Hollywood.
Yes.
I contacted the United States Postal Services to ask why we could not have an unveiling in St. Louis, Missouri. They then said yes, and then they came back and they said, well, it might be too confusing, but what we will do is something that we've never done before. So on April 3rd at the Grandale Theater in St. Louis, Missouri, the United States Postal Service is collaborating with a group of artists, and we will be having what they call a subsequent unveiling of the Forever Stamp for Marvin Gaye, and it is of the first issue of the Pencil.
What time?
It's 10 o'clock in the morning in Grandale Square in the Grand Arts Center District. Everybody's invited. It's free and open to the community at no charge. We're excited about it because they're excited about it. And today I had opportunity because I don't know if you know a backstory on what's going on is that there were two NFL football players who met him and became friends. And when the song was introduced to him from two of the four tops, Marvin didn't want to do it. And so they encouraged him, and he was like, no, I don't want to do it. Let the originals do it. And then these football players, one is Lem Borney, and also Mel Farr, who have become very good friends. And yes, and so they encouraged him, and he said, well, I don't want to do it, but the only way I'll do it is if you would do it with me. And he taught them the language and whatever else. So when you hear, hey man, what's going on? That's those two guys. And so Mel Farr had a heart attack and passed away, unfortunately. And I've been able to reach out to Mr. Barney, and we're hopeful that he will be in St. Louis to tell people about his role. And he's got to go record when Marvin received one for what's going on. Additionally, I reached out in the research to find the photographer who shot that album, and he's been kind enough to give me a limited use of the images. And so I have reached out to some former clients that are going to blow the images up. So that's what you'll see when you come in Grandale. And also there's a commemorative book. And we'll also have those images from that album in the book. So we're inviting everybody to come out. The books are free. Come and join us, and let's say to this man, hello, thank you for the work that you've done. And so we'll be doing a series of interviews, one starting tomorrow at 95.5 at 2 o'clock. There's one with Bernie Hayes at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. There's also one with Christine Mullen on April 2nd. At 12 noon, and there's also a tentative schedule with Channel 2 News. So thank you.
And Margie Hollins made it all happen.
Yay!
This is one of the hats she's wearing now. National Women's Month.
And Marvin Gaye's sister and his uncle or somebody was there.
of you cry. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving here today. Yeah. Father, we don't need to escalate. Oh, not answer for only love can conquer. You know we've got to find a way to bring some loving. Oh, yeah, yeah. Take it light, take it soft, punish me with brutality. Talk to me, honey, so you can see what's going on, what's going on, yeah, what's going on. Tell me what's going on. Ooh, everybody thinks we're wrong. They do. Mama, who are they to judge us? Simply cause our hair is long. People, you know, we've got to find a way to bring some understanding. Yeah, pick it nice, pick it tight. People don't punish me with brutality. Talk to me, so you can see what's going on, what's going on. Yeah, what's going on? Wanna know what's going on? All right. Oh, what's going on? Wanna know, I wanna know, baby. What's going on? Na. I wanna know what's going on, baby. Yes,
Y'all hear
I
them
wanna
congos?
know what's going
Them
on
African
right
drums
now.
jamming.
Oh, what's going on, brother? Tell me, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, bring it down a little bit, Eddie. Yeah. together again. Things were getting better. The newspaper read. What else is new, my friend? Besides what I read, ain't find no work, ain't find no job, my friend. Money is tighter than it's ever been. Hey man, I just don't understand what's going on across this land. What's happening, brother? Hey, what's happening? I want to know. Things still get down when we used to go and dance. Now all up when up in it. Do you think they have a chance? And tell me, friend, how in the world have you been? Tell me what's out. I want to know what's in. Woo! What's the deal, man? What's happening? What's happening, brother? What's happening? What's happening, brother? I wanna know what's happening. What's happening, my man? Been gone a long time. Now I'm back on the scene. What's happening, brother? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, brother? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
Leave me a voice message to let me know what's happening with you. Obarigani, what's the news? Obarigani means what's the news? What's the good news? What's the word in Swahili? Rise in power to our dear brother Marvin Gaye, to my sister Shawnette Michonne Anderson, my cousin Jimmy Washington, my business partner Roland Young, my brother in my life's works who I dedicate, along with my children, Joseph Jr., French Air 2, Melchizedek, and Sarai. Dedicate my life's work to this brother, Toby T. Lee of Type Vision Media. Rise in Power, Darren Sills, Michael Brown Jr., Von Derrick Myers. Too many to name. Sanford Gilmore, my cousin. We give thanks in moment of silence to all of our transitioned ancestors.
Check this out. Yo, them beats is poppin'. Check this out. St. Louis' very own hit record release. Love Song. By JCD, rap artist. Yeah, he's fat. Check this out. From MIDT Records, B&B Productions. Pick it up at your local neighborhood store.
And welcome back to a News You Can Use podcast, powered by B&Us LLC. Thank you to our sponsors, Frenchie's Wonders Healthy Place Botanicals. We're broadcasting live at the headquarters in St. Louis, Missouri. We're going to read to you an article, and I am the host and creator of a News You Can Use podcast and the businesses B&Us LLC. Do shop with us at BEANDUS
bnusllc.com. That's bnusllc.com. Going to read to you a article that was featured, that I wrote, that was featured, my first published article, featured in the Arts Today e-zine online. The article is titled, How to Combat Anti-African, Anti-Black Propaganda. And it's featured on the Arts Today e-zine volume 5.1. How do we combat the ignorance of African people? Do we remain silent about the negative images of Africans in every aspect of media? No. Many of us do use our platforms, e.g., social media, blogs, books, football fields, etc., to show that we are tired of the status quo. We insist on showing the world that there are positive images and positive African role models. When I speak of Africans, I am naming every so-called black person or melanated person across the diaspora. We are Africans in America, not African Americans. We must always show pride and solidarity with Africa. For generations, Albion, white Western Europeans have created these mass media propaganda campaigns degrading, dehumanizing, and criminalizing Africans. The entire point of these campaigns is to make us Africans believe we are inferior and ultimately bad people. When they continue to push this agenda on the world, not only will the world believe Africans are awful, other races will believe this too. With the belief, your actions will follow accordingly. When people continuously see these negative images and stories about Africans, subconsciously they start to believe the lies and misnomers. This propaganda was used to rationalize African slavery in the United States and globally. Negative African propaganda is still used in the news, with always showing African criminalization and poverty as if it's only Africans committing crimes or have less money. Beliefs transform to actions. Africans begin to display the very actions we are accused of. Other races treat us according to the lies fed. From birth, we are assimilated to an understanding that, in quote, white is right, out quote, and in quote, black is bad, out quote. The Ferris State University Jim Crow Museum displays several examples of anti-black propaganda. Their website says this about racist cartoons. End quote. Between 1928 and 1950, America's premier animators, Walt Disney Corporation, Warner Brothers, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes, and RKO Radio Pictures, produced many cartoons that ridiculed the appearance, behavior, and intelligence of African Americans and other racial and ethnic minorities. Out quote. It is in the advantage of the oppressor to justify African systematic institutional oppression, racism, and discrimination. Make the Africans think it is their fault why they are criminals, poor, and the lowest in world in power status, when we are the majority across the diaspora. If we believe their propaganda, then their projection will result in our negative behavior, which leads to their lies becoming truth. Whites can continue to murder us through genocide across the diaspora, emasculate our African kings with homosexuality, and dismantle African families and values if we buy into their anti-African propaganda. Their laws, systems, and institutions will not be challenged because we have been made to believe their lies. Yes, throughout centuries, there have been some Africans concerned enough to protest our negative images, but not enough. Today, we still face many negative images of Africans, probably more so than ever now that we have new age technology and the World Wide Web. We are constantly bombarded with media that misrepresent us Africans. It is a shame. The writer Jennifer Wilson says in her article, How Red Russia Broke New Ground in the Portrayal of Black Americans on www.pri.org. End quote. When Langston Hughes traveled to Moscow in 1932 to film, end quote, Black and White, out quote, a Soviet propaganda film about the horrors of American racism, he figured he had little to lose. Hughes and the remaining cast, a group of 21 young African Americans, believed the nascent Soviet film industry, which had launched the careers of innovative and socially conscious directors like Sergei Eisenstein, Vyacheslav Pudovkin, and Dziga Vertov, couldn't help but do a better job of portraying black people than Hollywood. The latter depicted black people as violent, dim-witted, and sexually rapacious. The fact that the Soviets wanted to employ black actors to play black roles was already an encouraging sign. Hollywood films tended to cast white actors in blackface. A rare exception at the time was the 1929 American film, end quote, Hallelujah, out quote, whose all-black cast was only approved when the director promised Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, that it would be a film about the horrors of sexual deviance, out quote, end quote. One of those values was the importance of internationalism and the spread of proletarian consciousness to black and brown nations who'd been oppressed by capitalism and colonialism. However, Soviet writers and illustrators too often perpetuated a lot of the harmful stereotypes about these nations that they were ostensibly trying to dismantle. For instance, in a popular children's book about chocolate production, end quote, How the Chocolate Got to Mossel Prom was a State Department store that sold candy. The cocoa beans are collected by an African boy who were told, end quote, doesn't go to school, out quote, and end quote, runs around naked, out quote. He's accompanied by his friend, a, end quote, red-skinned, out quote, Native American child who's magically popped up in Africa. And their movements in the trees are seemingly mirrored by an image of a monkey climbing up the same cocoa trees, out quote. Dear Africans throughout the diaspora, open your hearts, minds, and souls to different perspectives. It is when you are open that you may experience different realities and understanding. We must challenge internally and externally the idea of what an African is and does. Research and study who and what great things Africans have done since the beginning of time. We Africans were the first humans created from the black dot, melanin, Dr. Richard D. King, our ancestor, which means all other races came from us. We created all things from science, astronomy, math, religion, writing, and everything else between. But you must be open to even deal with this information. There are no excuses for our ignorance due to all wisdom being at the end of our finger keystrokes. The internet holds all knowledge and wisdom. We must ask the right questions to discover key information about our histories. I have conversations with my peers, and they ask me, in quotes, why are we so dumb and ignorant? And in quote, how we can change this reality, out quote. My answers are simple. We must want to change. We must want to learn something besides the information we already know. We that have the wisdom and knowledge about Africans must share this information with our peers and strangers. We must tell our positive narratives, display our positive images, and continue to do amazing works in our communities throughout the diaspora. It is our duty to make this world better than how we came here, as, in quote, Sankofa, out quote, suggests. Sankofa is an African word from the Akan tribe in Ghana. The literal translation of the word and the symbol is, in quotes, it is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind, out quote. The word is derived from the words san, which means return, ko, which means go, and the word fa, which means look, seek, and take. The Sankofa symbolizes the Akan people's quest for knowledge among the Akan, with the implication that the quest is based on critical examination and intelligent and patient investigation. Quoted from www.berea.edu. Bio. Frenchaire Gardner is a serial entrepreneur, insurance agent at Mutual of Omaha, manufacturer of her businesses B&S LLC's Nigerian organic shea butter, and property manager for her business Melchizedek LLC. She is a visual artist, photographer, actress, and dancer. Graduated from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology. Mother of Joseph Jr., Frenchaire II, Melchizedek, Malcolm X, and Sarai. Follow her on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Frenchaire, at Miss Frenchie06, or Facebook.com/Frenchaire INS lady. FrenchaireGardner.com. Copyrighted 2018. Thank you.
Salute to all the women out there. It's Women's Month. Salute to the queens, the goddesses, the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunties, the TTs, the goddesses, the nurturers of the world. Let's hear from Michelle Martin of NPR Tell Me More as she talk about education. Do subscribe to the BNS LLC YouTube channel for more news you can use.
Here we are with Michelle Martin, who had a great show this morning about education. Could you introduce yourself a little bit and tell me a little bit about your show?
Sure, I'd be happy to. I'm Michelle Martin. I am a host of Tell Me More. It's a daily, Monday through Friday program broadcast out of Washington, D.C. It is national. We're on in about 140 markets around the country or something like that. The program's been on for about 5 years. Education has always been one of the pillars of the program. I mean, every show, a show is like, it's like a new pair of shoes or a jacket. You have to have a reason to have it in your closet, right? And one of the pillars of the program has always been education, trying to push education forward as just an important issue. We don't have any axe to grind in terms of the way we want people to think about education. We just know that the people we talk with consistently over time from all backgrounds, education is one of their top priorities, if not the top priority. And yet it's very hard to have national conversations about it because education is so local that a lot of people don't see the connections to other things happening in other places. But so one of the things we've tried to do is bring national perspective to a local story, but also stay in touch with the local stories so that people understand what's happening elsewhere. And I think, you see just by the kinds of guests that we were able to get that other people are having those conversations too.
So we had some great guests today really on the national level, international, and even on the local level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we did. It was really exciting to get the superintendent of Miami-Dade, which is, of course, as you know, the fourth largest school district in the country.
Right.
And, which is important, especially because we're here, but also because, Florida is experimenting with and doing in Miami-Dade, they have all the same issues that everybody else has. We often have a lot of guests from Washington, D.C., like Michelle Rhee, who was the chancellor of a much smaller system, but dealing with all the same issues, diversity, multiple languages, kids from all kinds of background, all different levels of school readiness, and very affluent, very advantaged people who are very savvy about what they want for their kids and are determined to get it. So it's the variety is there, and really glad to be able to do the show out of Florida.
So on the show today, was there some kind of consensus around what are the major challenges facing the educational system? Some themes that came out?
That was one of the, honestly, one of the most interesting things to me about it was that there wasn't, you often hear in Washington, or when people talk about Washington or policy in Washington, they say, we all agree on the goal. Why can't we get together on how we fix it? Well, one of the things we heard today is we don't really agree on what the issue is. I think a lot of people do agree that the educational system, the K through 12 particular, now college has its own stuff. So we were focusing on K through 12, but that the model that we use is of a different era. It's from the horse and buggy era. It was, 9 months of school so kids could work in the fields. Who are we kidding? Right? On farms.
Right.
And, in a 9 to 3 day, so the kids could do milking at home or whatever. And I think most people agree that that's pretty over. But what people don't agree on is what should be next. And one of the interesting things, if you listen to the whole hour, and I hope people will at some point, if they space it out, I don't care, you'll hear the whole range of ideas about what people think needs to happen.
Right,
right.
Yeah. And so one of the more interesting guests I found that you had was Salman Khan, and with the whole online education.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe that that's the future of education, or is that something that will just complement what we already have?
Well, he made the point that that he's not talking about replacing, but he's talking about complementing. But if you really read between the lines, and particularly if you read his book, which I did do in preparation for our conversation, I think he clearly believes that online education, or at least introducing a heavy component of technological innovation, is just a must. I think part of his argument is that that's where the kids already live. So you have to meet people where they are, but that it so obviously compensates for the deficiencies that we have now. Now, there are obviously big problems with, online education in the digital space. I think it doesn't take a lot to figure out what those are. But I think he's pretty clear that a lot has to happen. And you'll note that some of his lessons are used in brick and mortar schools now. So I also found him, fascinating. And really rich. I could have talked to each of those people for an hour. I really could have.
So Salman Khan recently wrote an article, and he didn't really discuss that, where he says that education, there's three parts to education. One is the learning itself. There is socializing. And the third part is credentialing, which is where you get your diplomas, certificates. So he's saying they're all important, but there should be a way to separate the credentialing from the learning and socializing so that you can individually go and get credentialed. And that's especially important for unemployed people who want to reskill and prove that they have these skills and competencies.
Well, the other issue with credentialing is the cost, isn't it? It's how is it that you have a core credential that you need to have any leg in the economy at all, and it's unattainable for the people who need it most?
Right.
That is a recipe for a social disaster. Right. I think that people understand that. Right. As we said, we were based in Washington, D.C., and Georgetown University has a center on focusing on this very issue. And the head of that center, Anthony Carnevale, has been sounding the alarm about the debt load that students have been carrying and just the escalating cost of higher education. That is clearly a problem. But then let's just talk about getting to that point. I mean, like the high school dropout rate.
Right.
Particularly for particular groups in this country. I mean, this country used to have the highest high school graduation rate in the world, and we're now, what is it, 14? Mm-hmm. So clearly there are problems long before you get to the college level. The one other person I found particularly interesting, I think, was also Diane Ravitch, the educator and the policy person from New York. She made the point that a lot of the complaints about American education are overblown, and that they're really creating the case for privatization. And I found that fascinating. I don't know how you probably have heard this more than I have, but this is the first time I'd heard the argument framed in quite that way. And I must say that's something that's food for thought for me.
Yeah, and I was following it on Twitter, and people were very surprised that she was saying that the system is not broken. Mm-hmm. And some people were surprised that she was criticizing charter schools. Yeah. So, but I do understand her point of view, and it's probably very, very valid. Now, on Twitter, people were saying there's so much to talk about that this should be a weekly segment. What do you think about that?
Well, I also think we should have a 2-hour show, not a 1-hour show. It's kind of like, so, if you have influence with your local member stations, feel free to raise the question. Don't quote me, but, feel free to raise that. I agree, though. I mean, I have to say, as I said before, education has always been one of the pillars of our stool. If you ask us, how we see our mission as a program, covering education is one of the pillars of that stool. Because it's something that affects everyone. It touches the future. It touches the past. You don't have to have kids in school to be affected by it. I must tell you, long before I came to NPR and was working in this particular field, I've been a journalist for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I remember being on a panel, one of those endless panels that people get invited to be on, with a local business executive, a woman who was very dedicated to hiring locally. And one of the things she said, and this had to have easily been 10 or 12 years ago, when she talked about the difficulties she had hiring from the local labor pool because the kids' skills were so low: basic math, basic reading, basic literacy, basic numeracy. And I remember being really taken aback by that. So I guess what I'm saying is you don't have to have kids in the school yourself to have a stake in the question. I mean, I say to people all the time when they cut their eyes at my kids who might be acting up at the restaurant, I say, who do you think is going to be doing your back surgery 20 years from now?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Not making excuses for my kids, but again, the kids, the students today are the ones doing our back surgery, building our buildings, doing our heart surgery. They have to carry the culture of the society forward, and what they know, how they know it, how they learn, how competent they are, their ability to innovate. That's something that we all have to care about. Right. We all have to care about it.
Michelle, your show was great, and I hope that you'll continue this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Come and see us.
Who's up here?
Hey, Jay. Hey, what's up, dude? What's up, little dude? What's poppin'?
Been a long time.
Out of mind.
Radio version. JCD. MIDT Records.
But check this out. I don't do mine for you only on the weekend ballers. The counterfeit G's or them little kid wannabe, I do mine for the real, the movies, the shakers, the players. Time I like 40 in the trunk like shorty. I'm about to run it down the line for those who still don't know me. I'll be the copper top brother from the set that pop. I like zero like go dirty in the street on lock. I'm beyond before my time, so beyond to lost. Millionaires in due time, the floss is jumping off. Get your work on, some say you got enough game to make the black Papa Gucci with the shirt on. Now picture me rolling like Pac in the drop top. Black ball, I'm busting slime out your snot block. Keep the core so the haters can take a breather. If I can't sell mine, then they can't either. I'm in the cut, peeping out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left you. Time's up, sorry I kept you. In the cut, peeping out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left you. Time's up, sorry I kept you. sheets. Don't you know that when she closes her eyes, she makes believe it's me, the house writer. So tell me something good, like Shaka Khan. My second chance at back, cause I got the bomb. And your hating is irritating. I'm marinating like hot wings. Can't stand me now, wait till I got things. Sold up once I showed up. Hold up, baby, no rush. I get action once I get this buzz, and maybe later I can buff your rug. But for now, I'm in the cut, keeping out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept you. In the cut, keeping out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept you. MIDT, baby. Love it and leave it. In the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I can't. Videos, you drive a Lexus. At home, you make your payments on your 82 callous. Broke as hell, faking Rockefeller, you played yourself. As far as being a player, you can save your grunt. Reality, BDEA ages with the gauges. K9 sniffing through that path that got raided. Comic strip killers writing their folklore. And if you bubble, you run into trouble. I'm told, cause the real killers don't peep game and turn on you. Drop bombs like Tommy Hearns on you. I see the ladies that do what the latest cuts they do. Stay true, no, never. Rat chase for cheddar. Tight dress and you're looking fine in it. $300 person ain't got a dime in it. Trick, they say the game should recognize game, but you ask me to buy your drink before you ask my name. What's my name? In the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept. In the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept. In the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept. Representatives, in the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time since I left. Time's up, sorry I kept. In the cut, we've been out game. Surrounded by fakers, but I won't say no names. And it's been a long time.
Free your mind while it's time. What's up with that? I got one thing on my mind. What's up with that? Revolution. Yo, that's Pharaoh Chirumba. Please make me die 1,000 deaths in a day, and then I won't jump in the front while you put it down for the new time. Put it down for the new time. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. Shalom, shalom. Hotel. Yeah, MIDT Records. B&B Productions. Rhythmic Sign. Love to rap. Yo, check it out. And all your local neighborhood stores.
And welcome back to a News You Can Use podcast powered by B&S LLC, sponsored by Frenchie's Wonders, Healthy Place Botanicals. Let's listen to the Ancient Hebrew Research Center presenting their Aaronic Blessing Part 1 of 5. Do subscribe to the B&S LLC YouTube channel for more news you can use.
Here's the Aaronic blessing, or Aharonic blessing, as we are all familiar with. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Now, the first thing I want you to recognize in here is the abstract words in here. We have bless, keep, gracious, countenance, and peace. All of these are Greek concepts. They're abstract words. Their meaning and their function is purely abstract. There is no foundation in the concrete. What do I mean by abstract and concrete? A concrete word is something that's related to the 5 senses. You can see it, smell it, hear, taste, or touch it. For example, wood is very concrete. That's something you can see, you can touch. A smell is very concrete. Tasting, foods, these are all concrete ideas. Hebrew, the biblical Hebrew language is rooted in concepts that are concrete. Now, that doesn't mean that Hebrew is void of abstracts. However, their abstracts are related to something that is concrete. An abstract then would be something that cannot be seen, tasted, touched, smelled, etc. And we're going to take a look at some of those examples in the teaching here. And we're going to take the Aaronic blessing and we're going to break it down word for word, and we're going to look at it Hebraically. The first word in the Aaronic blessing is the Hebrew tetragram, the Yod He Vav He, which most translations have the Lord. There is one, I think it's the ASV uses Jehovah. But the four-letter word is what we're going to take a look at first. It is what most people would call the name of God. What is a name? Well, from a Greek perspective, it's very abstract. In fact, if you take a look at people's names, people's real names, they are purely abstract. My name is Jeff, and all Jeff is a bunch of letters put together to make a sound. That's it. It has no meaning. It has no function. It has no concrete ideas behind it. Now, originally they did in ancient times, but in our modern day culture, we use names just simply as identifiers. And when we come across a name like this, okay, Yahweh, we're very comfortable with that because it's a name. It's just simply a bunch of letters put together to make a sound. That's all it is. But what we have to realize that in Hebrew thought and in ancient times, all Hebrew names are words. They are words. A couple examples. Ishmael. Ishmael is Yishmael. And that's two Hebrew words put together. Yishma means he hears, and then El, he's the he. So Yishmael means El hears. Another one, Yaakov. Yaakov means he grabs the heel. Notice the yud in both of those, Yishmael and Yaakov. That's a prefix meaning he. Adam, another good example. It means human. Comes from the root Adamah. And then Chawa, which means living. Now, most of you are probably familiar with her name that we were all taught, and that's Eve. Exodus 20, verse 7. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Here we have the word name in there. What is a name from Hebraic perspective? The Hebrew word for name is Shem. Shem. And if you notice that word is inside the word neshama. These two words are related. What does neshama mean? Give you a hint. It's found in Genesis 2, verse 7. And he breathed into his nostrils not the soul. Breath, that's it. It's the breath. You see, your Shem is your breath. Well, that don't make no sense to us whatsoever because that doesn't mean anything to us. However, in Hebraic thought, your breath is your character. It's what makes you you. It's your personality. It's your what makes you different from everybody else. That's your breath. So your breath is your character. Now, every time you see the word name in the Bible, replace it with the word character, and you'll have a better understanding of what that verse is trying to say. For example, you should not take the character of the Lord your God in vain. Now, you see, a lot of times what we think of, you should not take the name of the Lord in vain, that just means not to swear. You're not supposed to use his name as a swear word. And that's not what this is about, not in any way, shape, or form. Now, literally, the way this verse should be translated is you shall not falsely represent the character of Yahweh. In other words, when we say we're followers of Yahweh, we're supposed to take on his character. We're supposed to act like he does. But if we go out to other people and we start stealing and cheating and lying, what are we doing? We're misrepresenting his character. Okay, in John 14:13, we have whatever you ask in my name. This is Yeshua speaking. Whatever you ask in my name, I will do it. Now here we have the word name again. What is he saying here? Now, the way we've interpreted this over the past 2,000 years is that, okay, if we want to ask Yeshua something, then we have to have this formula and put it on the end of each prayer in Jesus' name or in Yeshua's name. And that's what we all do. I do it myself. But why do we do it? Because of this, quote, formula. In other words, if you ask something, in order for that to happen, you got to tag this on at the end of the prayer. That's kind of what we've been taught since childhood. But is that what he was saying? Absolutely not. In fact, just stick the word character in there and it just completely opens up to a completely different meaning. Whatever you ask in my character, I will do it. What is he saying? He's saying that if you ask what I would ask, then I'll give it to you. Pretty simple. When we start talking about the name of Yahweh, there's several different camps on this. There's all the way to one extreme that says the Lord is fine, that's all I need to use, all the way to the other extreme, whereas if you're not using this specific pronunciation, God won't hear you. Those are the two extremes when it comes to the name. And since the name does appear in the Aaronic blessing 3 times, I think it's important. In fact, in Hebraic thought or Jewish thought from ancient times, that anything that's mentioned 3 times is significant. It's something of importance. So here in the Aaronic blessing, we have it mentioned 3 times. What should the emphasis be on the name as in regards to how you pronounce it? Well, personally, I don't put that much emphasis on it for 2 reasons. One is we'll never know with 100% certainty how the name was pronounced. That is until a tape recorder is found from that time. Okay, I don't see that happening. So we're just really not going to know. The other thing is that there's something more important than how you pronounce it, and that is how you represent the character. Do you know the character? Do you understand the character of Yahweh? And that, when the Bible says to take his name to the people, it's not saying teach them how to pronounce it. It's saying take his character, who he is, what he is, and take it to the people and teach that to them. Exactly, Habibi, is the Torah. Okay, that is what we're supposed to be taking because the Torah is his character.
Presented by Jeff. The Aaronic Blessing presented by Jeff A. Benner. Music by Colleen Clark. Thank you so much.
St. Louis dropping, popping.
Black bodies on the line. Let the Creator elevate your mind.
New hits like this.
Like 3, you're out, no mistake. That's the way the pitch break. My old man. Sleeping in his
The Redemption Song by V.
Sometimes
Nelson.
grumbling and complaining, but always keeping on. A garden of fragrant flowers. Then you, woman child.
Last poet, you know it.
Flowering garden of my heart. And my heart opened to you.
Pick it up at your local neighborhood
Like a
store.
stream flowing out.
And welcome back to the News You Can Use podcast. Did you know that your support keeps this podcast alive, keep episodes getting recorded, new content created, researched? Just gives me the power and the energy to continue to create more news you can use. Time that the hours per episode and per marketing sessions that I spend creating this for you takes away from me participating in any other income driven activities. So your support is needed to sustain future episodes of the News You Can Use podcast, and also for leveling up, because I want to make this better for you. I have a logo getting worked up for you and connecting with other vendors so that we can really just be set up just like when I talk about sponsorship, we can set up just like the radio stations do. The radio stations come and they show up, they set up a whole music DJ, have a DJ to attract business to your to drive clients and customers to your store or your physical location. And that's the whole point of the News You Can Use podcast. And so your support is needed. You can contribute monthly by clicking the support this podcast button on the Anchor app. When you give $9.99 monthly, I get, as the creator, get 13% more per dollar. So I'm really grateful for you, and continue to give and show your support and love. Thank you. Engage. Let's connect. Ujamaa Cooperative Economics.
Khalid, location.
Send me your location, let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location, let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else but you. At times I wonder why I fool with you, but this is new to me. This is new to you. Initially, I didn't wanna fall, but you gathered my attention. It was all for you. So don't take advantage. Don't leave my heart damaged. I understand that things go a little bit better when you plan it. Oh, so won't you send me your location? Let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location. Let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else. I don't wanna fall in love off of some sweet, so let's keep personal. I got a lot of cool spots that we can go. Tell me what's the move and I got you. I'm only acting like this cause I like you. Just give me the vibe to slide in. Oh, I might make you mine by the night. Then send me your location. Let's focus on communicating, cause I just need the time and place to come through. Send me your location. Let's ride the vibrations. I don't need nothing else for you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Don't need nothing else but you. Ride, come and vibe with me tonight. I don't need nothing else but you. Nothing else but you. Oh, I don't need nothing else but you.